All right, so we're loading into Blackpink, and like I said, we're gonna be skipping past the the intros.
It just gives us more time to talk.
I love it. It's strange. I've really become accustomed to them. It wasn't until I was asked to do the IEM Pyeongchang qualifiers on the ESL channel where I'm like, wait, this is so weird not having 30 seconds of silence.
Yeah, that's different.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, his name doesn't quite match up, but we know who he is. In the top right side, to kick things off, we have the pink Zerg, Jim Rising.
Yeah, an interesting name for him. As we have to the bottom left-hand side, the red Terran player. It is Control.
Jim Rising recently been running, what was that, the Taco Cup, I think it's called, or something?
Taco Cup number 3.
Freaka getting some money out there for tournaments. I don't know about you, Wardy, and this isn't just like the Twitch bias, but I don't really like watching things under Freaka.
I can't watch things under Freaka.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I don't know. I actually miss Twitch chat when I go to other sites because no one talks on the other sites. I actually like miss it. Is that weird?
There's parts of Twitch chat I would miss, not all of it, but most.
Yeah,
of
okay,
it,
sure.
The good parts.
But sometimes I'm just so used to seeing all my friends in Twitch chat and talking about the games together, you know. So.
Well, either way, Jim Rising, despite making this pseudo transition to perhaps caster and organizer, still a pretty fantastic player. I think most people are more familiar with him than Control. He's been playing for a long time. We've actually had him on the channel many times before as well, so nothing too surprising. It'll be Control I think I've really got my eyes on. Plus the fact that it's a Terran in Europe. I mean, this thing's like a white rhino, guys.
Mate, Terrans in Europe are just insanely hard to find, and also when there is some, like Hero Marine and New Thermal, they don't always play in the cups either, right? So it's even rarer to actually see them playing.
In fact, they fucking fly to Korea.
Yeah, they go to Korea and play over there instead. Like, what are they doing?
Actually, I think this is an accurate statement. Thermal playing from Korea has competed in more online events than when he's been at home in Europe.
Probably, yeah.
Sitting for
plays in a few, but I don't know. It seems like the Terran players go through phases. Like 1 week they'll play everything. You'll see Hero Marine signed up to go for SC2, Base Trade Cups. But the next week is just like, yeah, I'm not playing. I'm just streaming. So. Bit back and forth.
Well, we'll see how good Control's looking today. There's some pretty big hitters on the bracket, but it's nice to know that top 4 players will be what qualifies through today. Bracket coming here mostly at around a 16 plus a couple extra. You've got a 1 in 4 chance getting through just off numbers alone. Got to factor your skill in behind that, of course.
Yeah, it's just a minor like adjustment at the end, right? To add in the skill, it's like, well, you know, maybe it drops down from 25 to 20%, right?
You could honestly get like a bracket full of just like randos and end up having Suit and Mana and everyone's seated on the right. Like there is like this perfect world where you could, as a non-skilled player, get through. Just because top 4 is top 4.
But that isn't Seaton just bad? That isn't Davis gonna get fired?
Theirs should be fired for many things. Last of which I would care about would be seating, to be honest. I actually, this is terrible. I know this is why I have to hire an admin, guys, because my bias will shine through too much. I'm actually very much of the opinion seating shouldn't really matter. I think a lot of times skill will outshine seating, but then you can't just have really fucking bad seating. So having Dares do it keeps my bias out of the equation.
Dares is a necessary middleman.
Absolutely.
To bring us the action.
And he's going to get a little bit of an MVP shout out today too, because of course he is going to be adminning 2 tournaments, not just the BTSL Europe, but also the Amateur Series, which I'm again going to make a quick call out to, guys. 45 minutes or so from me saying this live on stream, the Amateur Tournament for Diamonds and below will be taking place. And I really, I love the fact that there is almost double, like actually almost straight up 2 times the amount of people who signed up for the Amateur Series than for the Pro Tournament happening today. So to all you Diamonds and below, I wish you the best of luck. And for those who have not gotten involved yet, I highly recommend just hopping into play. It's no risk. You're not paying an entry fee. Just click the sign up button.
You could lose all respect.
Well, speaking of losing respect, these Marines are about to lose their lives. A little bit greedy going for the Overlord.
I mean, he's like, yeah, he's a little bit out there, right? So. Getting punished for it, but the Hellions do clean up the Zerglings, and there is an armory down, I believe. So Hellions going to go across the map and make some Hellbats. And I don't know if Jim Riser's really prepared. I guess 7 Bane's about to finish up. Will go quite a long way, as there's a couple of lings in the natural. He's getting cleaned up, and that's not nice. Hellions getting attacked before they can even move into Hellbats, so unfortunately, Control not really finding an opening just yet to really deal damage here.
That's good for Jim Rising, though. Those Hellions, that's as dangerous as the Zergling run by can be, a Hellion run by can be even worse. And taking care of this really early feels great, man. I can go back to Journey. He's on 3 bases, got a lot of queens, got that creep spread from the main to the natural. There's no real holes in his defense. Jim Rising's actually got a really solid start to this.
Yeah, really good stuff. Turns it away, shuts it down, and well, now just keeps on setting up, right? The lair coming through. Although Control wasn't really too slow in kind of the follow-up either, but I mean, look at the worker count already. Jim Rising feels so safe. He's going up to 57 workers against 37. He's going to get these Lings in here, and he is going to get another couple of SCVs at the very least, if not these Marines as well.
Nice pickups.
Every Marine goes down.
A lot of these SCVs are low because, of course, 2 Zerglings were in here earlier doing a bit of chaos. So 5 workers down, 33 in total. Not great for Control. This is something where if you had a 3rd CC, you can start arguing mules and recovery, but because this is kind of an all-in, it's going to be a bit of a weak one.
Yeah, this is really tough for him now because everything that he loses here is just going to be less and less to throw at Jim Rising in the next few moments. So Jim Rising is being pretty greedy right now as well. Like, he's still making drones in the face of this 2-base attack, but, well, it just might not matter, although he's going to lose a couple of drones there. And this Queen just going to continue poking those Hellions away.
Well, Jimmy Boy's got Bane speed coming up. Gonna make these Banelings even better. 5 extra health, a little bit of speed. Right now they can't really engage these Hellions unless Control's the one who messes up for it.
I do feel like the first push here out of Control might be a little bit scary. You know, he's gonna have what, like, you know, he's gonna have a good little army supply lead. He's gonna have +1 against no upgrades. I feel like there's a little bit of possibility, but maybe also Jim Rising is like saving up for Mutalisks as well. So maybe there's a little bit of a chance, but man, he really has to trade so well here to make sure his future attacks are going to be somewhat successful too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm pretty jaded right now. I really like Terran. I'm just not a big fan of these Terran all-ins that have been happening more and more. I mean, it's happening more versus Protoss than versus Zerg, but I think there's a lot of power in the Terran late game. However, a lot of players I think are very uncomfortable using Ghosts. They don't want to deal with Ultras, so I understand why you would want to go for these earlier pushes and kind of force yourself into 2-base situations, but the longer this goes, the better it doesn't get for Control. And right now, he's got that +1 timing, he's got an army, but he's not pushing with it. By the time he gets across the map with these Marines and tanks, yes, he will have a very nice army supply lead, but he's not going to have the upgrade lead. 1-1's finishing up for Jim Rising. He's got Baneling speed. Heck, Mutas are even getting their upgrades while this goes on.
Yeah, I really thought he was going to go with just +1 attack or so, but he waited all the way for combat shields, and now, well, obviously he's gotten to build up more, but Jim Rising's had so much time for 80 workers to kick into the game. He's almost double the worker count of Control, and that's just going to be so difficult to deal with here. He's got so many Banes coming up as well. I mean, if somehow Jim Rising messes up this fight, I'd be amazed if you just see him rolling in already, catching the Terran a bit off guard, and the Baneling hits Rifkin. Oh, going crazy.
Wardy, you know what else is going crazy? The gain on your microphone. Not sure. Are you able to turn that down a little bit on your end, or should I adjust that on mine?
Yeah. I can do it.
Okay.
Did I suddenly get really loud?
It's not that. It's just that it's starting to break when you get loud. GG's get called, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Rising will take game number 1, and that's right. I don't have Stream Deck. Gotta tab out and do these things manually.
Is my mic a bit better? I turned my gain down a little bit.
Maybe just a little bit more.
Yeah, I can do that. How about now?
We'll find out. Sounds okay for now.
We'll find out. I can start talking excitedly again.
Sure, go for it. We'll test it between games. Why not? Get out of the way.
Okay. Oh my god! We're hosting up the lobby. I can't believe we're gonna go to Catalyst. You called it.
Yeah, it's fine that you're louder. It's better though because it's not peaking as much. So that's nice. Also, thank you, Diet Soda, for editing the noob command. I like this. Are you a bronze blowfish, a silver scrub, gold garbage, platinum peasant, or a diamond doughboy? We've got a weekly cup just for you.
Nice.
I like it. I like it a lot. I know Zombie are streaming right now, which is prompting a lot of questions. People asking like, so did she leave BaseTradeTV officially? What's going on? If you guys haven't been paying attention, it's such a headache. This is like 6 months coming in the process of it. Zombie Grub is now just like any other caster who comes on the channel, like Wardy or Maynard or such. She's still somewhat involved with the channel. We're still friends. There's all this good stuff going on. She's just not full-time like I am anymore. That's all there is to it. So there's no drama. There's been posts from her, posts from me, tweets from her, tweets from me. Like, people see these little things and want to make a big deal about it, and it's really not a thing. So I know that she's streaming right now. If you want to enjoy her stream and the BaseTradeTV stream, awesome. Twitch.tv/ZombieGrub. There's the shout out. Go check her, go watch her stream. But of course, we'll be doing our own thing over here, me and Wardy.
Yeah, we're the new cool kids.
This is like the guy equivalent of a Galentine's Day.
I love it.
But if you guys could do me a very selfish favor here, there's no ulterior motive like, oh, we could be saving esports or we could be getting blank versus blank. I just want some retweets, fam. We don't get enough retweets. So if you could do me a favor, I'm going to spam the tweet in chat. It's the BaseTradeTV link. Shows off all the information people need for today about the thread, about the brackets, about the Miniaturino, heck, even our featured sponsor, which we haven't gotten a chance to talk about yet. Please hit that retweet button, or at least hit like. Either way, I'd really appreciate it. That being said, what do you want to kick off these intros?
Okay, so the top left-hand side, we have our Pink Zerg player representing Meliora Esports. It is Jim Rising.
RosaMelcacho.
That was some very seductive intros, by the way, on the the Zoom. It's like slow and gentle.
Yeah, gotta get some foreplay in there, because you're introducing, not quite at the climax of the player you want to bring in. You want to hype him up in the bottom right. It's the Red Terran. Control.
His name works pretty well for that. I don't think you could have chosen a better name to make your point on. Can you like really though? It was impressive.
Right. So there's a couple things about Control I want to talk about from that last game. First off, whether it was to the credit of Jim Rising or the mistakes out of Control, he missed a lot of timings, right? The Marines were awkward. There wasn't a Reaper. The Hellions got pushed back before they could do anything. Hellbats or not, they never got to the base because the Queen skipped them out. And then, of course, by the time he was ready to all in, it was past the point of being able to actually all in. In fact, it was such an, I feel like, easy fight for Jim Rising to take there at the end. Especially if you're sitting on 88 drones. Even if you lost everything, recovery is totally an option. If you're playing all in with Terran, if you're playing specifically around 2 bases, you gotta dedicate to it. There's no like, I'm gonna take a slave. You gotta be a bit reckless. That's the point of an all-in.
Oh yeah, you have to. I just feel as though like when +1 attack finishes, he's in a great position. Like Jim, I mean, obviously we get to see it, and maybe he doesn't. But Jim Rising's like spamming out workers. His upgrades aren't done. That's still a great time, even if you don't have combat shields. And I mean, you've got to try and figure out like if you want to make these all-ins work, you have to figure out when. Sometimes it's better to go earlier than you usually go, right? So it was a rough game for him. I mean, losing those SCVs definitely didn't help his Marines as well. And you said it all, right? The Hellbat's not doing anything. I mean, he built an armory for no reason in the early game. It was a tough one.
Yeah. That being said, though, it is, I feel, a little bit more difficult for Terran players to make these all-ins look crazy. There's a few with Cyclones that snowball, and that's, of course, what makes everyone think Cyclones are OP. But I think we see so much more often, like, the Roaches snowball very quickly. You get these weird depth attacks that can get out of hand. Terran, most of the time, if you're going to go with something like this, it either just barely worked, or it worked really, 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 really well.
Oh, yeah. No, it's true. Like, it's like you can, you get in there and you kill, like, you start killing things and it just, like, spirals out of control, right? But if you get there and you get crushed, you're just in trouble.
Well, we're talking a lot about all-ins. We still don't know if that's what Control's going to aim for. So far, his openings are pretty regular. Command center timing was nice. Barracks are setting up. I am questioning the lack of a tech lab, though, so that's kind of making me think we may be heading that direction. No stim getting started up. There's that armory.
Jim Horizon already has a Rotron, by the way. Oh no, he just cancelled it. Okay. He was building a Rotron, so kind of changed his mind and went into a faster lair now instead, so a little bit interesting there as he continues to set on up then. Obviously saw something that he didn't like the idea of, or maybe thought it was getting scouted, so.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking, is he just going to go really fast mutas off this then? Like, what else are you going to use that?
Yeah.
Like a Ling Queen Nidus? It's not really allowed.
That's why I thought the Rotron was just kind of finished, right? Because I was like, oh, he wanted to Roach attack, but now he's going to turn into a Nidus, but what else do you actually do with a lair? Aspire? I mean, I guess so. He's got the gas for it. He has 4 gases, so I guess it is going to be Aspire here in the near future.
Well, we'll find out as the layer will be finishing here in just a second. It's for Jim, I'm kind of like, this might be a little bit cheesy. Mutas are not that great, but if your opponent's going for a lot of Hellions and not Marines, there's not a lot that's left to shoot up. The Mutas can be really good, I think. And the fact that he already saw a Cyclone, the fact that he saw a couple Hellions, I think these Mutas have a chance to work, as strange as they might be.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? Because if you get onto the Cyclones super quick and just shut them down, then suddenly there really isn't any anti-air here, although there is starting to be quite a lot of Cyclones, and they can kite away quite effectively, so it's going to be a little bit interesting. If he loses the Cyclones with this little bit of a drop that he's going for, that really could spell trouble. Or maybe he just goes and counterattacks with Mutas straight up, because that could be pretty good too, so there's some potential here, definitely, as obviously mech play this time from control, a bit of a different way of playing it compared to game number 1.
Let's catch some of the lings in the middle of the map. Normally a nice way to clean up that scouting path for your all-in that is not looking ahead at a good time. In fact, it might not even be all-in. He's just...
Wow.
Well, that's got to be, right?
Bio.
He's going bio this late. This attack has to do damage now. It's not even a question of like, oh, this could or couldn't go well for the Terran. He's up 20 army supply with a very strong, sturdy, snowballing amount of units. But the downside is a lot of these don't shoot up. And the ones that do, the Cyclones, they're kind of limited in the way they shoot up. So I fear that these Mutas still might be the right answer.
Well, we're about to find out because the Hellbats are morphed in and now this Overlord is going to see this coming as well. So the attack is go. And, well, the third hatchery just has nothing on it at all just yet. But there is a little bit of a counterattack across the map which has been turned away. I think Jim Rising is going to lose the third hatchery at the very least here.
Yeah, good start here for Control. Like I said, he really has to make this work. This is no half measures. The meta keeping the Hellbats alive is nice, so the Cyclones don't actually take any damage so far. I'm wondering if he's going to wait till he's just got the most Mutas possible to go in. I mean, it's just tough to say. Mutas don't have a lot of damage. Dogfighting the Cyclones could still go badly for them, but...
I wonder if he just comes across the map and tries to grab a few SCVs, he can justify having lost his base. I mean, it's never a good thing, but at the same time, Control is, you know, not rushing up to free CCs himself. He's not looking at macro, right? So if you kill a few workers, there's some possibilities there. The Mutas have to come down to the south side, and they are going to lose one of them. No, the Cyclone loses its lock-on at the last second. As it comes back in towards the main base now, the Mutas going to get a few more kills.
Wonderful pickoffs here to Jim Rise. We're keeping those Mutas alive, too. Another lock-on comes down. Might lose this Muta this time. Turns on a dime to try to shoot some of the Cyclones. Third CC's finished up and learned. Oh no, Circlings and Banelings into the natural base. What few SCVs there were just died and leaves him with 22.
I mean, this is still going on, right? The Mutas are still picking up these SCVs, so a lot of damage being dealt. 20 workers down. These Mutalisks are having the time of their lives.
You know, I saw a Reddit thread last night where he said buff Mutas, and I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, please no. Mutas are pretty good already.
I think Scumbag Cyan has also been tweeting about it too. But yeah, this is nothing to do with Zerg being OP. This was just Control really not prepared for this.
Yeah, I mean, you know, all those air units were, or anti-air units were out of position initially, and wow,
He's single-digit workers.
This is really brutal. I mean, where do you even go from here? Like, you all in into, I mean, it's like a worse economic position than he was in the last game, right? 8 workers to 42 instead of like 40 to 80. What do you even do right now as Control?
The funny thing is, if this was still primarily Mutas, maybe there's a way to make this work. Because the Marines and the Cyclones are still going to actually be able to take Mutas in a straight up like A move versus A move fight. Especially with a Thor mixed in. But not the case. Roaches have been started. There's decent production for them. I mean, the Cyclones might tear through them, but the Roaches will buy the Mutas time to get their attacks off too. In fact, the worst thing I think he could do right now is be across the map trying to worker harass, because there's nothing left to harass. You cleaned him out, man. Don't kick him while he's down.
Yeah, all Jim Rising has to do right now is deal with this one army, but I mean, even at home he has quite a lot as well as he picks off these SCVs. I think he's going to realize there's nothing left here to kill. The army's not there, so he's just going to buy some time, bring the Mutas back, and just start getting ready to fight this. We're going to see Roaches already jumping on this opportunity, taking the fight and starting to work their way through the Cyclones, and I mean, you can already see the numbers falling apart here. Just a 4 and a couple of Marines left as the Mutas swoop in. And Control has no real option other than to GG.
GG. Jim Rising will take the first best of 3 today and continue on there in the brackets. We do have some other of the matchups starting to advance, though. Possibly Snoot on deck, possibly sort of on deck. We got Ziggy advancing. Actually, Ziggy versus Soul. Yo, Ziggy's a Polish player too, isn't he?
Yes.
Dude, we got Poland versus Poland. You know we got to cast that one. Ziggy versus Soul. We'll cast. We're going to go to a commercial break, though, guys. We'll be back in just a few moments. Thank you so much for watching so far. First best of 3 is done. Now we start getting to the real action, as each of these round of 8 matches are actually qualification series. We're not going to cast every single one of them, but yeah, these are qualifier series, and then beyond that, it's prize money. So sit tight, and we'll see you guys soon. The ad button's still not working. Son of a gun.